Welcome back to the Fit Mind, Fit Body podcast, special Gone Nuts series. It's time for a monthly update from one of our intrepid Gone Nuts athletes. How has their training gone? What are they thinking about with the event just around the corner? And what are they learning about themselves? All these questions and more will be answered in the next 15 minutes. In this episode, we're checking in with Sharon Gunton to see how her training's going for the Gone Nuts Challenge. Today on Fit Mind, Fit Body, we are checking in with another one of our Gone Nuts athletes to see how their training's going. Sharon Gunton, welcome.
Welcome. Hello.
Yeah, I'm very welcome.
Yeah.
Sharon has been, for those of you who don't know, I tend to catch up with Sharon once or twice a week anyway. We go running training together. So I know a little bit about what's been going on in her life. This won't all be a complete mystery to me, but it will be to you all. She has had an interesting month, really. So Sharon, where do you want to start when you talk about your training for the last 4 weeks or so for Gone Nuts?
So 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I went to Darwin for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was get off a plane at midnight, go to a hotel, go to work the next day, and it was just humid, suppressive weather. And my brain was fried, just mentally what I was doing. Didn't get to the gym, went out for dinner a lot, didn't get to the gym until the Saturday. So a week later, I got to spend 2 hours in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that whole week training. And
were you worried about that? Did that make you, was it on your mind, or were you just so busy with work that it was like, well, you didn't think about
I
it?
couldn't physically, mentally, I was done. And then when you go outside, one afternoon before we went to dinner, they were all going for drinks, and I thought, I'll miss drinks and I'll just go out. And just the weather, where we were in the territory, I wasn't going to go on my own. So
Yeah. And it was hot and all that as well.
yeah.
So
So
you didn't let it worry you too much, really?
no. And then when I come back, had a couple of trainings, had a couple of runs, and then ended up falling over up at Trevelyan. Knew it was one of them days before I even got out of the car. Should have just stayed in the car. Um, it, I don't know whether everyone has them. I have them. Just got out and started running and thought, this is not going to be good today. Was going to run the road, but we had a dog. There's off lead areas up there for dogs, so she was off a lead. If Tim went bush and I went road, halfway through the run, she would have then found me on the road. So
You didn't.
it was not really an option in the end. And then I just fell over.
So did you trip over anything in particular, or you just sort of tripped?
Tree root.
Okay.
Yeah, and come down on my side. So I got all this one side, all my left side. Had a little sook, got back to the car, and then that was Thursday, Friday. On the Sunday, went out with a group of people and the back of the uni. Once again, tripped over a tree root. Should be learning running techniques I should be doing now. And tripped over that, came down, got under my chin, and the same knee that I'd got 2 days earlier. So that was all bruised. I thought I'd actually broke my jaw.
Wow.
But
Must have hit your head
yeah,
pretty
I
hard.
couldn't. Yes, yeah, I still feel a bit fuzzy.
Wow. So that was like over a week ago now, that particular fall.
Yes, Sunday week, yeah.
So you do know that
So,
trail runs are full of roots and rocks and like things, trip hazards, I should call them.
yeah, sumo suits have been pretty good.
So you're gonna get dressed up in a sumo suit. How are you feeling now? Like after these couple of falls, is it feeling a little bit nervous, a bit fragile?
Really shook me up. more than what I thought it would, because I've fallen over before and it's never really worried me. But even walking, I've done a lot of walking in the last week,
Mm-hmm.
just I haven't been up to running. And I'm very conscious of where I'm putting my feet.
Mm.
Um, so I think when I go and do trails, I will take my sticks,
Yeah.
poles.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's going to be one of your strategies for getting over this little hump that you're going through right now.
Yes, yeah. We walked this morning just because was quite warm.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't get out till 11:15. So today, so we just walked the dog. And as I was walking, yeah, we were discussing the poles, and I think that might be the stability I need to, yeah, overcome. And
Mm.
it's something I have to do by
Yeah.
saying you'll be right. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because
We walk
like,
trails.
it's true. It's like that. There are a lot of hazards out there in trail running, as we know, we talked about.
Mm.
Um, but there's also a lot of stuff that goes on in our head, which makes them we're even more prone to tripping if we get into that frame of mind, or
Yes, yeah.
and when we're tired and we don't lift our feet enough, and we just So it's good that you identify that too. I reckon that it's that
Mm.
it is something that you have to work your way through and then get a little bit of confidence back, because that's what it probably is. It's a confidence thing as well. Mm.
Yes, and it's a new feeling. Like I've fallen over before, and you just get up. I just don't know whether how I fell and how I felt, whether that, I've usually fallen on my side or skunned my knees, but
Yeah.
yeah, this really hurt.
Yeah. And it's kind of a sense of trusting, which comes back to confidence too. Like you trust your own body. Like it probably
Mm,
prior to that, as you said, you fall many times in different ways or whatever, and it hurt in various forms, but you still kind of had that trust level, and you've got to build that trust confidence back up in yourself in order
yeah,
to.
we walked trails on Sunday, Monday, Sunday. Um, and Tim actually kept saying to me, trust your shoes. You
Yeah.
won't slip in the shoes you've got. And I knew that, but I was still going down some steep little banks, going, oh, ah, ah.
Mhm.
And it was, yes, my shoes, they were not slipping. It was just rocks around me had moved,
Yeah.
but I was actually stable.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, if I grab some poles and do a couple of bike runs.
Yeah.
I did see a podiatrist a couple of days after I fell, only because I was getting new orthotics. And she said probably some running techniques might help to lift my feet off the ground and stop shuffling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. It's
mm.
interesting, isn't it? Because we all deal with that kind of stuff from time to time, but you don't think about it until you're in the middle of it, and it's like, oh, damn. Oh, I didn't realize I'm actually human and quite fragile, and it could just fall at any minute. No, let's not do that. I guess it's just going to be time, isn't it? So it's just going to be repetitive practicing and like kind of stuff in order to, plus, with
Yes.
poles and maybe. Well, I was talking to someone about swimming stroke correction today. Um, are there people out there that teach running techniques? I there must be.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Tim's a coach, so yeah,
Well, there you go. So you just ask your husband, how do I learn to lift my feet up more?
yeah. I might find someone else.
Not good for your marriage, right?
No,
Oh, that's funny.
no, there is, yeah, and it's a lot of yeah, the technique, yeah,
Mm.
dried throughs and
Mhm.
butt kicks and things like that is all getting your feet.
Up.
I might do a couple of sessions of,
Mm.
yeah, just techniques because it is, yes, I'm not picking my feet up. I've actually identified what's
Mm.
wrong. And the little bubble that was in the pavement just must have just clipped my toe. And once
Yeah.
you start going forward, that's it.
Yeah. And it becomes
So
reaction
somehow
time
I,
and stuff, doesn't it?
mm,
Um, Tim was on the other day, and your episodes will go out pretty much on the same day. So they'll be interesting because he talked about your upcoming cruise on a ship in January. what are you thinking about with that regarding your training?
It will be a lot of gym work.
Yeah.
So it'll be gym, yeah, most mornings if we're at sea.
Mhm.
We thought we might have been get a bit of swimming in to cross train,
Mhm.
but as I've YouTubed the cruise, I think there may be too many people
In the pool.
in the pools to do laps, which
Okay.
everyone pays the same. So, yeah, they're entitled to their pool.
Exactly.
Um, Shore days, we haven't booked any offshore tours,
Mhm.
and we've sort of YouTubed a few of the islands. So we will, one, we're at Port Vila for 2 days. So I think there's some coast road that will go right along, run along.
Mhm.
Mystery Island. No, there's another one with a mountain. So you can hire mokes or scooters to go up them. We'll just run up them, run walk.
That's
So we'll,
awesome.
yeah. So shore days we'll be zooming around on our
Sounds
feet.
exciting. What will you have? I think we must be down to under 12 weeks to go now. Must have been 12 weeks on the weekend to go. So we're 11 weeks and however many days. Not that you need to hear that right now. So by the time you do the by the time you do the cruise, what will that be? That'll be maybe 8 weeks or something to go.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, you guys are pros though. Anyone who doesn't know Tim and Sharon, they're actually pros at just pulling amazing events out of their hat, like seemingly from nowhere sometimes, being able to go and stand at the start line, having done enough.
As you get older, you probably do need to train a little bit better. But then it's a fine line of training and getting injuries too.
Yeah, it is. It's
You
tricky.
know, of as you get older, or as I probably said before, when we done it 30 years ago, we probably trained too much. So you'd get to the start of a marathon and be absolutely exhausted. So I
Mm.
always said I trained better than what I actually done in a race. So I could get the time I wanted when I was training. Come race day, I was exhausted and I just didn't get the times I wanted. But then it was just like, well, finish line. That's all we need is a finish line.
Yeah,
So yes, as you get older, it's still that fine line of too much training, overtraining,
yeah.
injuries. But you still, you still need to have a base, and you still need to be able to get through it.
Is
Because
it? Yeah. What were we gonna say?
100 k's is something that you can't just go out and win, can you?
Well, you can. It might be ugly, really ugly.
It's ugly. Yeah, yeah, that's probably what it's looking like.
I was saying to Peter today, he's here helping Simon put up the safety fence around our deck ready for Christmas, which I'm sure we've talked to you about it. And I was saying to him that when we did the walk in New Zealand recently, we were doing 20 Ks in 5 hours. I'm like, and that was just walking with a pack on. So I'm sure I could just, do
Mm.
so that would, extrapolate out to 20 hours and that's well under the 30-hour cutoff. And then he looked at me and said, yes, but you'll probably want to rest and there'll be other bits and pieces you want to do, which will cut into that time considerably. So anyway, I thought it did give me a sense of, well, I've just achieved, that walking at that pace and
Mm.
that felt
But
reasonably
I mean,
easy.
that's all strength work too for you, isn't it?
It is
Like,
good. Yeah, to
yeah,
build
yeah,
up
yeah.
ready for it. But anyway, it's all
Yeah,
a
I
bit of
sort of
fun
thought
though.
that the other day too. I thought, oh yeah, worst case scenario. When I was trying to make myself feel better after a walk, I thought, yeah,
Yeah.
I can just walk it. And then I was sort of going back, going, yeah, but then you have to eat. I have to
Hmm.
organise food. So where I have to start thinking about where I want to drop food
Yeah.
and what I want to eat. Um,
So
I
you
don't eat
practice all
biscuit.
that, I assume? You practice all that stuff, like nutrition and hydration in your training?
Yeah, I know I can eat, so
Hmm.
normally I don't have an issue.
Yeah.
I had to train myself for triathlons to eat
Hmm. While you're
because
moving.
you had to eat on the bike.
Mm.
And I found that on a training run, short story, I stopped. One of the riders who was actually coaching me said, "Get in there and get yourself a biscuit." and I brought a Kiss biscuit.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've never done a triathlon without having Kiss biscuits on the bike or long runs without having Kiss biscuits.
Do
So
they
I'll
not
go
get
out and buy a
crushed
pack
up
of.
and do they not get like all
Oh, you
crushed up?
just, yeah, it's just easy. You can just push them down your mouth. Yeah. So for me, that,
Might try.
yeah, after that, that was at Beaconsfield, was at the bakery when I had that. And then I sat on his wheel all the way back into town, but I was really needed it. And
Mhm.
for me, mentally, doesn't matter. Everyone's like, there's nothing in them that doesn't matter. I feel better if I have a Kiss biscuit
Sugar,
and I can continue. Yeah.
the big
A little
carb.
bit of icing,
Yeah.
sprinkles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, that's just works for me. Like people have gels and things. I just have my
You have a kiss biscuits. You also have other things too, don't you? Do you have other things? You don't
my
just
Kiss biscuit.
little kiss biscuits.
Oh, I'll probably take some bananas
Okay.
and somewhere, I don't know, whatever station, I'll probably have a sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I can, yeah, because you'll be getting quite empty after 10 hours, 12 hours.
It's a trick,
Is,
isn't it? Because I
well,
think
personally, I need food. Yeah.
because I mean, we all need it, don't we? You've done some of these, things where you're moving for, the better part of a day. Uh, and I know when I've got towards the end of like at the 8-hour run that I did, I actually wasn't that interested in food. So you have to become quite strict with yourself, I think,
Mm.
to to eat anyway, because if you don't, then you will just run out of energy. So if you have to, be because your mind is like you don't want to, or your body or whatever part of you they're saying like I don't want to eat because I'm not hungry. I'm just going to get this event. I'm just doing this event. I'm not
And I think
hungry.
somewhere along the line, too, the body goes, well, it's going to take energy to
Yeah.
process this food.
Yeah.
So maybe if you don't eat, and there's a lot of people
Yeah.
have difficult with nutrition
Mhm.
near the ends of some of the races.
Yeah. They
Mm.
get quite upset stomachs and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, I've never been able to take gels
Hmm.
where I've seen runners in Brisbane, like they're running along beside me and then they have a gel and they're off doing 4 minute Ks. Like there's been a big, like they only use them
Big
for races
improvement.
or a few pre races, but it's like, wow, they do actually work for
Mm.
them.
Yeah.
For me, I, if I mix it with water, so the only other way I can get the gel down is if I mix it with water
I
and
don't, the
put it in
texture
another
is
water
horrible,
bottle.
isn't it? Like, no, I have never heard
Yeah.
anybody say to me, I love the texture of gels. Never heard anybody say
So,
that.
mm. So I think one Ironman, yeah, got the gels and put them in a water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got two gels, put them in and mixed them with some water. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
could sort of sip a bit better on that. I really don't know if they were any value once they were mixed with water, but
No idea. I don't know. That's something, well, we should get a food scientist.
yeah,
They can
I
tell us all about
just
it.
had my Kiss biscuit and I was happy.
All right. We're actually coming into Christmas, which is a crazy time of year when it comes to the time that we have to do things to a lot to our personal endeavors. I'm already finding it a bit crazy. I have to think ahead of time when, especially if I've got long runs or something to do, to make sure I do them earlier in the day because I know I'm going out or, there's just things to do. And it's very busy, as you know,
Mm.
socially and even for work to tick a lot of stuff off for me anyway. How are you finding that, you know, what's going to happen in the next few weeks? How will you approach your training?
Hopefully a bit more training.
Yeah, that's good.
Um, we'll go for a run Christmas Day.
Okay.
Our family's away Christmas Day, so we've always ran Christmas Day. We always do a run Christmas Day. Even we were in Brisbane, we used to run, meet a whole heap, and then we'd have brunch, and that was sort of a Christmas Day thing. So won't change. We'll
Yeah.
go for a run and then go out to Tim's brothers in the afternoon. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah, everything should. I'm doing a chainsaw course this weekend, but we
Chainsaw
can do
course.
our
Mm,
yes.
interesting.
Mm, yeah, level 2 chainsaw course.
Go you.
Yeah, I can run up and down Claude Road in between my cutting chainsaws.
Well, that sounds like a
Cutting
bit of
wood.
cross training, doesn't it? Like they're picking up the big chainsaws and go. That's awesome.
It's not big. So yeah, so that's Saturday, Sunday out because
Yeah.
that's a 2-day course. But yeah, just have to do a run Monday.
Yeah. So
Just change days around.
what's your overall feeling about the race at the moment, considering you've had a couple of ups and downs and you've got, the cruise coming up as well? How are you feeling about it? You feeling confident? How are you feeling?
I'll act confident, but quietly a little bit nervous about maybe I should have upped the Ks by now a bit more. Maybe I should have done some 30K runs, 40K runs.
Mm.
I did them in January.
I haven't done any of those, if that helps, and I'm just doing what I'm told. So, like you're just doing what you're told as well. So
yeah.
you can blame Timmy if it's doesn't quite work out the way you want it.
Well, I think he's done some long runs. It's just he's been out and done some mid-20s.
Okay.
Yeah. I will get there. It's just I'll make it my goal this week.
Yeah. Well, your life is a bit crazy.
Mm.
Like with all the things you've had on as well, not to
Mm.
mention just having the falls. You've been really busy.
Mm. Yeah. So it should be Well, Friday's out, isn't it? Yeah. Oh,
You're already like, oh my gosh. What to
and
do?
Saturday, Sunday. Oh, back to Monday. No, it should be. Look, we should by mid next month. Oh no, then there's a cruise. No, it'll be fine.
It will. I mean, of all the people that I'm talking to, you two have got the most experience when it comes to signing up for crazy events of different lengths and craziness. So yeah, I'm not worried about you
It's
guys.
just got to carry through with it though, don't we? And finish.
You will.
And look, so much things can happen too. You can
Well,
have
that's
the
right.
best training, and unfortunately, it's harder to know when to pull a pin on something.
Mm.
When you're out there, you want to finish, and sometimes it's just better if you
Yeah.
go, this is enough.
You got to listen to your
Mm.
body, don't you?
Yes, if you want to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably an interesting conversations we can have as we get closer to the event too.
Yes.
Those kind of like, what do you do or how do you know that enough is enough? Those kind of things.
Because
Yeah.
everyone, I presume everyone, there has to be some doubt somewhere along the line of, I can't do this. And it just then becomes a mental game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be able to talk to yourself. But then if you're hurting or you're injured, you have to stop.
Yeah. Then that game becomes not mind over matter, but actually listening to the physical thing
Yeah,
that's
so
going on, understanding the
mm,
difference, which is
mm,
not always that easy when you don't have a lot of oxygen in your brain, I think.
mm.
We're not that smart, which is probably when you need a good team behind you or having someone supporting you that can interpret what's going
Yeah,
on.
enough's enough. That's it. You're out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pull you out, and then you'll just hate them forever.
Thanks, Simon. I'll just allocate him for mine.
All right. Is there anything else about your running at the moment that you wanted to share? Your training before we wrap it up?
No.
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 Well, I'm very excited to see how you get through this next period. As I said, I'm not worried about you two at all. Not that I'm worried about anyone, but I think of all of us, you're the most experienced. So you'll rock it. You'll do
Oh,
it.
thank you.
Yeah, exciting. Well, thank you for being here.
Okay.
Looking forward to talking to you in January. I don't know, before or after your cruise. I think Timmy might have booked himself in already. I'm not sure. But
I have, but I'll have to change it. Yeah.
because it's probably while you'll be on the cruise. Whoops. Anyway, we can talk about that tomorrow when we go running. If you're there.
No, I'm not there tomorrow.
Well, we'll do it on Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's been
Okay.
awesome. As always, we'll talk to you next month. And just like that, we're another step closer to the start line. Big thanks to our runners for sharing their progress and to you for cheering them on. Remember, it's the journey, not just the destination that shapes us. Keep supporting our crew as they push towards that start line. And if you're enjoying this series, we would love to hear from you. Why not leave us a review and share the podcast with friends? Let's all go a little nuts together.